Let us discuss about the fluoroquinolones, levofloxacin, moxifloxacin. So today we are going to discuss about the second generation fluoroquinolones, that is levofloxacin, moxifloxacin, gemifloxacin, prilifloxacin, lomefloxacin, and sparfloxacin. In addition, there are two other fluoroquinolones, pazufloxacin and balufloxacin, which are available in India. Now, levofloxacin is an active levo isomer of ufloxacin. It has improved activity against the Streptococcus pneumoniae and gram-negative organisms, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and certain anaerobes, as well as the gram-positive organisms. It has a oral bioavailability of 100%, meaning thereby that the oral and the IV doses are similar, just like we have seen with pfloxacin. And levofloxacin, a single daily dose is sufficient because of the slower elimination and higher potency. It is excreted unchanged, and with drugs like theophylline, warfarin, cyclosporin, zidovudine, the pharmacokinetics of levofloxacin remains unchanged during the treatment using the levofloxacin. The uses of levofloxacin are in the community acquired pneumonia. Secondly, it is also used in exacerbations of the chronic bronchitis, and 90% cure rate is achieved. Also, it is effective in sinusitis, pyelonephritis, prostatitis, urinary tract infections, skin and soft tissue infections also. And for chlamydial urethritis, it is also an alternative drug, just like the ufloxacin. Levofloxacin is also used in the multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Levofloxacin is the second most active fluoroquinolone against the tuberculosis, just like ufloxacin is effective against the tuberculosis. And in India, the levofloxacin is a component of the standardized regimen for the multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. As far as the QT prolongation is concerned, levofloxacin does not cause the QT prolongation. Then coming to lomefloxacin. Lomefloxacin is a difluorinated quinolone, and it is more active against gram-negative bacteria and chlamydia, as well as it is also effective against gram-positive organisms like the Streptococcus pneumoniae. But phototoxicity and QT prolongation. Due to the incidence of phototoxicity and QT prolongation, this particular drug lomefloxacin is withdrawn in USA, but it is still available in India, although it is infrequently used. It is long acting and it is used only once a day. Then coming to sparfloxacin. Sparfloxacin is also a difluorinated quinolone, and it has enhanced activity against gram-positive bacteria. It has also activity against the Streptococcus pneumoniae, then the Bacteroides fragilis, other anaerobes, as well as it is also effective against the mycobacteria. It is the longest acting fluoroquinolone, having a T-half of about 18 to 20 hours. The different uses of sparfloxacin is in pneumonia, in exacerbation of the chronic bronchitis, in sinusitis, and other ENT infections. The adverse effects are similar to the lomefloxacin, that is, it causes the phototoxicity reactions, and these phototoxic reactions occur frequently with sparfloxacin, and the patient should be advised not to go out in the sun. Secondly, it also causes the adverse effect of prolongation of the QT interval. This adverse effect is seen in about 3% of the patients, and it may result in occurrence of the arrhythmias. Sparfloxacin is discontinued in USA, but it is still available in India. Then coming to moxifloxacin. Moxifloxacin is a long-acting fluoroquinolone, and it has high activity against the Streptococcus pneumoniae, certain other gram-positive bacteria, including the beta-lactam and the macrolide resistant organisms. Then it is also active against certain anaerobes and also effective against the multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. The moxifloxacin is the most potent fluoroquinolone against the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and it is extensively used for the MDR tuberculosis. The topoisomerase 4 is a major target, and the different uses of moxifloxacin is it is used in pneumonias, in bronchitis, in sinusitis, in otitis media, in which the efficacy of this moxifloxacin is sometimes comparable to the beta-lactam antibiotics. It is not used in urinary tract infection, and the reason for this is because moxifloxacin, the urinary concentrations are low. So because of that, it is not useful in the urinary tract infection. The side effects of moxifloxacin, it is similar to the other fluoroquinolones, but phototoxicity may also occur, but that is rare with the moxifloxacin. And the contraindication of moxifloxacin, it is not to be given in patients who are predisposed to seizures, and it is also not to be given to the patients receiving certain proarrhythmic drugs, because these can also prolong the QT interval and it can give rise to serious arrhythmias. Moxifloxacin is metabolized in the liver. Therefore, it should not be given to the liver disease patients. And as far as renal disease is concerned, no dose modification is needed in the renal disease. As you can see, 0.5% eye drops are also available. Moxifloxacin is used for the conjunctivitis, which is caused by the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Then coming to gemifloxacin. Gemifloxacin is also a broad spectrum fluoroquinolone, and it is active against the aerobic gram-positive bacteria like the Streptococcus pneumoniae, as well as it has activity against the gram-negative organisms, and it is effective against the H. influenza, Moraxella, Klebsiella, as well as it is also effective against the Mycoplasma pneumoniae and the Chlamydia pneumophila, as well as it is also active against certain anaerobes. In Klebsiella, it is also effective against some multi-drug resistant strains as well. Gemifloxacin, it is only given by the oral route, and this particular drug, it is rapidly absorbed. It undergoes limited metabolism, and it is excreted in the urine and feces, both as an unchanged drug or as the metabolites. It is metabolized by the liver and the kidneys. So in presence of certain renal insufficiency, if the creatine clearance is less than 40 ml per minute, then dose of the gemifloxacin needs to be halved. So the half dose should be given in presence of the renal insufficiency, whereas it is metabolized by liver and kidneys both. As far as the side effects are concerned, it causes diarrhea, nausea, headache, and the skin rashes are the most common side effects. Also, increase in serum aminotransferases to an extent is seen, and it can also enhance the warfarin effect, like we saw with ciprofloxacin. Levels of the drugs is increased, leading to toxicity. So some amount of enhancement of the warfarin effect is also seen with gemifloxacin. And it also carries the risk of additive QT prolongation with other drugs. As far as the uses of gemifloxacin is concerned, it is used in the community acquired pneumonia and acute exacerbation of the chronic bronchitis. Now coming to prulifloxacin, this is a newer fluoroquinolone, and it is also given by the oral route only, and it is a prodrug of ulefloxacin, and it has a broad spectrum of action against gram-negative bacteria, including certain resistant strains of the gram-negative bacteria, as well as it is also effective against the gram-positive bacteria. As far as kinetics is concerned, it is rapidly absorbed and it is excreted unchanged in the urine, and it is also, prulifloxacin is also converted to ulefloxacin. and during the first pass metabolism. The uses of prolifloxacin is acute exacerbation of chronic bronchitis, and it also has good efficacy against the urinary tract infection, both the uncomplicated or the complicated urinary tract infection. Here in complicated urinary tract infection, it is given for a treatment for a period of about 10 days. The adverse effects of prolifloxacin, the side effect profile is similar to ciprofloxacin. It causes certain GIT side effects, central nervous system disturbances, urticaria, photosensitivity is also reported. But prolifloxacin is claimed not to prolong the QT interval, just like the levofloxacin. And it is in uncomplicated UTI, it is given as a single dose, whereas in complicated UTI, it is given as a 10 days treatment. Now, coming to the pharmacokinetics of the second generation fluoroquinolones, we can see here that the oral viability of levofloxacin, if you see, it is almost 100%. So you can see the oral dose 500 milligram, and IV dose is also 500 milligrams. So the oral and IV doses are equal because it has a oral viability of almost 100%. So with the other thing is regarding the moxifloxacin also, we can see these are having, and prolifloxacin also is having a good oral viability. Then as far as the levofloxacin and gemifloxacin is concerned, you can see the percent metabolized. Both these drugs, levofloxacin and gemifloxacin, they are undergoing the minimal metabolism. And the T half of levofloxacin and gemifloxacin is about 8 hours and 7 hours respectively. So we can see that due to the slower elimination and minimal metabolism and higher potency of these drugs, so the daily single dose is sufficient for the second generation fluoroquinolones, mostly like the levofloxacin and gemifloxacin. Then as we know that most of these drugs have a excretion by the kidneys, but gemifloxacin, this is excreted both by the liver as well as the kidneys, and just like the pfloxacin. And moxifloxacin is the route of excretion is hepatic only. And as far as the gemifloxacin is concerned, the dose needs to be halved in presence of the renal insufficiency, as it is metabolized and excreted both by the liver and the kidneys. So we can remember that most of the fluoroquinolones, they are having their excretion is by the renal route, except gemifloxacin and pfloxacin, which are having a dual route of excretion by the hepatic and renal, and moxifloxacin is only excreted by the liver. So coming to the common features of the second generation fluoroquinolones, we can see that they are active against the gram-positive organisms as well. So besides the gram-negative bacteria, the gram-positive organisms are also taken care of, and especially their action against the Streptococcus pneumoniae. Also, the second generation fluoroquinolones have a higher affinity for the topoisomerase 4. They are also active against anaerobes, and for this gemifloxacin is very effective against the anaerobes. Besides this gemifloxacin, even moxifloxacin and sparfloxacin are effective against the anaerobes. They have a long duration of action and they are used once a day. So it is convenient, as well as it also enhances the good compliance. They do not interact with the warfarin and theophylline. Thus, they can be safely used with these drugs. So we have the levofloxacin, moxifloxacin, prolifloxacin, which have very less interaction with the other drugs. Many of the drugs they prolong the QT interval. So sparfloxacin, moxifloxacin, gemifloxacin, and lomifloxacin. All these drugs, they may prolong the QT interval. Whereas prulifloxacin and levofloxacin, they are claimed not to prolong the QT interval. Moxifloxacin attains a poor concentration in urine, so it is not used in the urinary tract infection. And as far as the CSF concentration is concerned, this is poor. CSF penetration is poor, and this is similar to the first generation fluoroquinolone. Now, let us see the antibacterial spectrum. This is an overview about the different antibacterial spectrum of the fluoroquinolones first generation and second generation. So we can see here the ciprofloxacin. It has an activity against the gram-negative organism. All the fluoroquinolones have activity against the gram-negative organism. Besides gram-negative organism, ciprofloxacin also has activity against the staphylococcus, but it does not have activity against the Streptococcus pneumoniae. And ciprofloxacin, as far as Pseudomonas is concerned, it has the highest activity against the Pseudomonas. And ufloxacin, it has an effect against the mycobacteria, good effect against mycobacteria, and along with that, it also has activity against the chlamydia and mycoplasma. Whereas the second generation fluoroquinolones, they have an expanded activity against the gram-positive organism. So besides gram-negative, they have expanded activity against gram-positive organism. They are active against penicillin-sensitive Streptococcus pneumoniae, penicillin-resistant Streptococcus pneumoniae, as well as certain atypical pathogens like the chlamydia and mycoplasma. And they retain the broad spectrum gram-negative activity. But as far as Pseudomonas is concerned, the second generation fluoroquinolones, they are less active than ciprofloxacin against the Pseudomonas. Whereas moxifloxacin, it has the widest spectrum of antibacterial activity among the second generation fluoroquinolones. So to conclude, we can see that the levofloxacin, it is given by the oral and IV route, and it has a renal clearance, and it is also known as a respiratory fluoroquinolone because of its improved activity against the pneumococcus as well. Then moxifloxacin, it also is given by the oral and IV route, and it is a respiratory fluoroquinolone, and it is used in many pneumonias, bronchitis. It has improved activity against the anaerobes as well, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And moxifloxacin, it has a hepatic clearance. Gemifloxacin, it is given only by the oral route. It is also a respiratory fluoroquinolone, it is used in the community acquired pneumonia, which is caused by the Streptococcus pneumoniae, H. influenzae, Moraxella. These organisms are responsible for causing the resistant respiratory tract infections. Gemifloxacin, it has a clearance both by the hepatic and renal route, just like the pfloxacin. And prulifloxacin, it is given only by the oral route, and it is a prodrug, and it is used in urinary tract infection and bronchitis, and it has only the renal clearance. So we can remember that all fluoroquinolones, they undergo the renal excretion except gemifloxacin and pfloxacin. Gemifloxacin is second generation fluoroquinolone, pfloxacin is a first generation fluoroquinolone. So both these, they are having the dual route of excretion, that is by the hepatic and renal, and moxifloxacin only has the excretion by the clearance by the hepatic clearance. So with this, we have completed the second generation fluoroquinolones, but to just have a discussion on two of the drugs which also come under the second generation fluoroquinolones, and they are available in India. So we have a discussion of pagufloxacin, and belofloxacin. So in addition to the other second generation fluoroquinolones, two other fluoroquinolones, pagufloxacin and belofloxacin, they are available in India. So we'll discuss pagufloxacin. It is a atypical quinolone antimicrobial with a fused tricyclic ring, and it is developed in Japan in 1990. So it is available as an injectable formulation as a mesylate, which is marketed for the IV infusion. The antibacterial spectrum is wide and it is effective against gram-positive, gram-negative, including the resistant strains, as well as the anaerobes. It inhibits both the bacterial DNA gyrase and the topoisomerase 4. That's why this confers activity against the gram-negative and gram-positive organism. And also, it has low potential to select the resistant mutants. It has good activity against the Enterobacter C, some resistant Pseudomonas, as well as very good activity against the MRSA, ampicillin-resistant H. influenzae, and Klebsiella pneumoniae. As far as the kinetics is concerned, after IV infusion, it penetrates the CSF and it has a T-half of about 2 hours. The different uses of pagifloxacin are, it is used in pneumonia, lung abscesses, upper and lower urinary tract infections, then intra-abdominal abscesses, peritonitis, endometritis, burns, in nosocomial infections, and certain injuries. So this the adverse effects of pagifloxacin is nausea, diarrhea, rashes, and the occurrence of the seizures. The risk of seizure may limit the dosage of the drug. As far as the dosing is concerned, usual dose is 500 milligram, which is infused IV over 30 to 60 minutes, whereas in the elderly, it is given, a lower dose is given of about 300 milligram. So this drug is given by the IV route. Valofloxacin, this is another fluoroquinolone which was developed in Korea in 1990, and it is marketed in India and few other countries, but it is not available in Europe and USA. It is a bactericidal fluoroquinolone and it is active against gram-negative and gram-positive organisms like the Streptococcus pneumoniae and the MRSA. As far as the kinetics is concerned, it is well absorbed orally. So this drug is given orally and it has a T-half of 8 hours and it undergoes minimal metabolism. So the action is there for a longer period of time. It is excreted in urine and it has an adverse effect of nausea, dizziness, loss of appetite, skin rashes, photosensitivity, and peripheral neuropathy. As far as the uses are concerned, it is used in sinusitis, chronic bronchitis, exacerbation of the chronic bronchitis, then community acquired pneumonia, and the urinary tract infections.